Hello guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be discussing my favorite teams from all major hockey leagues. Now, how this is going to work is I'm going to be going through the 13 most well-known leagues across the earth when it comes to hockey. I'll be putting my favorite team out there and discussing it, and of course the reasons why. Now in this video, I'll be making my favorite team for 13 different leagues across the earth. We'll start with the NHL, AHL, ECHL, NCAA, OHL, QMJHL, and WHL. Then we'll be switching over to the European side of things. We'll start with the SHL, the Liiga, KHL, Allsvenskan, Mestis, and last but not least, the NLA. Now, for most of these leagues, I already had a favorite team before making this video, but for some of the lesser known leagues in this video, I had to assign a favorite team, which I don't have too much of an attachment to them, but you'll see the reasons why I chose them. Now, starting off into the NHL, pretty much no surprise to anybody that has been on the channel. My favorite team is the Dallas Stars. Of course, when it comes to Dallas Stars, I live in Dallas. I'm a homegrown boy, so of course I'm cheering for my hometown team. And with the Dallas Stars, while it can be miserable at times to cheer for the team, I will always stick by them, and they will always be my number one. And for pretty much as long as I live, I see myself being a number one Dallas Stars fan. While I cheer for some other teams like the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Vegas Golden Knights, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Dallas Stars will always be number one, at least in my heart. And for as long as I live, the Dallas Stars will be number one, at least I hope so. Now, heading on to the AHL team, I have the Texas Stars. Now, being a Dallas Stars fan, I kind of have to root for the roots under them, and of course the teams under them, and of course the AHL team for the Dallas Stars is the Texas Stars. It makes a lot of sense, and of course that's the thing I went with. While I do like some other teams in the AHL, there are some pretty solid ones. When it comes to the Texas Stars, of course they went to the Calder Cup final this past season. They were a pretty fun team to watch, and while I might be a Texas Stars fan by default, I actually kind of like the team and the atmosphere that they have going on. Now, I really love their jerseys, and while I do prefer Victory Green, those jerseys that the Texas Stars have going on are very, very solid as well. The logo is pretty solid, I like it, and it has a good idea surrounding it. And the team itself, I do like a lot of the players. Of course, as a Dallas Stars fan, gotta cheer for the prospects on the team, and of course that goes hand in hand. I like the players, I want to see them do well, and even though I am cheering for the Texas Stars as default, I wouldn't have it any other way. Now we're heading on to the ECHL, and this is where it starts to differ quite a bit. While the Dallas Stars affiliate in the ECHL is the Idaho Steelheads, I don't really care for them either way, but when it comes to the ECHL, I have to go with my Greenville Swamp Rabbits. I learned about this team a couple years ago. They started playing back in 2015, and I instantly fell in love with their whole team in general. And the main reason why is that name and that jersey and logo. The name, the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. The Swamp Rabbits is such a unique, crazy name, and I love it to pieces. When I heard about it, I didn't even think it was real. It seemed like a minor league baseball team because those always have wacky names. With the Swamp Rabbits, it's a crazy idea, but it somehow works. Now, I'm going to give it a little bit of an honorable mention to the Orlando Solar Bears. In this realm, I would have Orlando as my second favorite team. They're practically tied. They're really, really close together, but unfortunately, the Swamp Rabbits just beat them in this ranking, but the Orlando Solar Bears logo is absolutely phenomenal, and I think it deserves that honorable mention. Now, heading on to the NCAA Division 1. When it comes to the NCAA, my favorite hockey team is Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs. To me, they haven't been my favorite team for a while, but I've still cheered for them in the past couple of years. And the main reason because of that has been Wylie, Dallas Stars prospect. He's still on the team right now, and I've been rooting for him quite a lot since he was drafted. And another big reason, I love those jerseys. I know that might be a controversial take, but I love the colors, I like that logo, and I think it works very, very well. Now, there are some other teams in the NCAA that I also like, mostly because they have Dallas Stars connections. Now, I like the University of Denver, of course, Jim Montgomery, the Dallas Stars head coach right now, coached the Denver team and got them a championship. I also like Boston University, of course, with Jake Ottinger. And it's just, with the NCAA, that's probably the biggest league where I say, hey, I'm going to like this team because there's a Dallas Stars prospect or player or coach or whatever on that team. And the NCAA is probably the biggest example of that. It doesn't happen as much now or in the QM or in the CHL, but in the NCAA, I would say it happened the most. Now we're going to head on to the CHL. We're going to start with the OHL. And for my OHL team, I have the Guelph Storm. Now, this has been something that has come up recently. I've really started to like the Guelph Storm, and I can't really pinpoint why, but I wanted to have a team in the OHL to really root for and to really cheer for. And when I was looking for a team about a year and a half ago, Guelph really caught my eye for some reason. While Guelph Storm doesn't really roll off the tongue very well, that logo is honestly phenomenal. Now we're going to head on to the QMJHL, and for my favorite team, the QMJHL, I have the Sherbrooke Phoenix. Now, when it came to picking a team, the QMJHL, I'm going to give a little bit of a disclaimer because going into this video, I didn't really have an idea of who my favorite QMJHL team would be. Now, going into this video, I knew who my favorite OHL team would be. That would be the Guelph Storm, and I already knew that. When it came to QMJHL, it just kind of hit me that I don't really have an official favorite team there, and there were some teams I forgot about even existed. There were some teams I didn't really care for, but when it came down to it, I was most impressed by the Sherbrooke Phoenix. Now, last but not least, in the North American leagues, I have the WHL, and the WHL is kind of in the same situation as QMJHL. I knew most of the teams, but I didn't really have an official favorite. I had some teams that I was following, and I had some teams that I kind of had a good feeling towards, but when it came down to it, I officially made the Tri-City Americans as my favorite WHL team. Now, I've always liked their kind of look. I've always liked their jersey. I've always liked their logo, and of course, the Americans, they really embrace that with their overall feel, and of course, being an American, being a Texas-born guy, I do like seeing the American teams win and the American teams do good. So when it came down to it, while there are some of the other WHL teams that I like the Seattle Thunderbirds, the Vancouver Giants, I felt like the Americans best fit what I was looking for, and of course, the Americans, I gotta cheer for my Team USA through and through. Now we're going to be heading on to the European and other country leagues across the world, and we're going to go to the SHL. And for this league, I really was surprised they didn't have a team that I was really leaning towards. There are some teams that I fought positively for, but there wasn't a bona fide team that really stood out above the rest. But when it came to making a decision, I officially am making the Luleå HF my official favorite team in the SHL, and there's a few different reasons why. Now, I'm going to say first and foremost, that logo is absolutely amazing. The one with the tiger in the circle and the yellow and red stripes going across. It's absolutely beautiful, and I love that logo to pieces. Another reason why is that I like some of the players on the team, especially guys like Nils Lundqvist, a New York Rangers prospect. You got Noel Gunler, who's one of my favorite 2020 prospects. And overall, when it came to the SHL, there are some other teams that I was pretty favorable towards, but when it came down to it, Luleå was probably my favorite. Next up, we're going to head on to the Liiga, and this was one of the few leagues in the European side of things where I officially had a favorite team before making this video. And when it came to my favorite team, I have HIFK. Now, the main reason because of that, being a Dallas Stars fan, Miro Heiskanen, because Miro Heiskanen was on the team, I was really following HIFK, especially in the last couple of years. And of course, with Miro Heiskanen playing so well on that team, I was really excited, really hyped, and of course, Miro Heiskanen is playing great so far in the NHL. So when it came to my favorite teams in the Liiga, I just kept going along with HIFK, and it'll probably continue to be that way for the time being because, of course, Miro Heiskanen in effect. Even with that, I'm still going to stay with that team. Now we're going to head on to the KHL, of course, most notably the Russian League as it's called. And for the KHL, I'm going to pick a team that is not in Russia, and I'm going to pick Jokerit. Now, my main reason for this, it's kind of the same reason as the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. It's because I've always just liked the concept of the team, of course, the logo being a giant clown. just is a fun idea. And of course, they were previously in the Liiga. They were moved to the KHL, so they're one of the few. I think they're the only team in Finland in the KHL. Correct me if I'm wrong, but with that, they're unique. I love the jersey, I love the logo, and I just love the idea of the team in general. Now, moving on to the Allsvenskan, and for my favorite team in this league, I have the Karlskrona HK, and when it came to this league, there were some interesting teams, some interesting logos to say the least, but this one kind of just caught my eye. With the logo, it's a big kind of diamond with a beetle in the middle. It just is weird, it's wacky, and that's why I like it. When it came to their jersey, it's like all orange, it just pops, and to me, I feel like when it came to that league, there were some bland teams, there are some decent teams when it came to their looks, but when I'm looking into this, when I'm going through teams, I don't really have time to go through all the players, so when it came to the looks, this team really did encapsulate me the best. Now we're going to head on to the Mestis, and for the second best team, or for the second best league in Finland, for my favorite team, I picked SaPKo. Now the reason I say it as that is because it's weirdly spelled. Now, it's SaPKo if you say it full name, but in this, for this, it's S-A and then capital P-K and then lowercase o. It's pretty weird, but at the same time, that logo is absolutely phenomenal. It looks like a ram, but I'm gonna say it's a goat because it is a pretty goat logo. I like how it's designed, and I just like the overall look of the team. And while I'm not following I'm not following a lot of Mestis teams when it comes from now on, even though I don't even know how to pronounce the team name, I'm still going to be following them. Now, last but not least, for the final league in this video, and the final league I'll be talking about, last but not least, I have the NLA, the best team, or the best league in Switzerland. Now, for my favorite team, it was hands down. This was not even close. It was the ZSC Lions. Now, I know that I think they're a pretty decent team, of course. The most notable thing that they had was Austin Matthews back in his draft year. Of course, Austin Matthews, most notably, went to Switzerland to play there in his draft year, and when it came to that, it just sparked memories of seeing Austin Matthews highlights a few years ago, seeing him before he was drafted. It bring back a little bit of nostalgia, especially with those jerseys back then. So when it came to my favorite NLA team, it was pretty much hands down, and there was really no argument for any other team in that league. And with Austin Matthews being an American and being a Southern-born player, I had to cheer for him as much as I could. And back then, of course, I was cheering for him quite a bit. And being the first overall pick, being in Switzerland, it's pretty unique. And the Lions, while, of course, they don't have Austin Matthews right now, I feel like it just brings back nostalgia a little bit. It brings back those feelings of Austin Matthews being drafted. And it kind of just brings back those memories. So when it came to the NLA, there wasn't a lot of memorable teams, but the Lions certainly were that. Now, going for this video, you guys could probably pick a pattern here for the teams that I like and for the teams that I like in lesser-known leagues. Usually the team I like has an either interesting or pretty cool logo and jersey, which you would be right in that respect. When it comes to lower leagues like the Mestis, like the NLA, when it comes to those teams, I don't really have too much of an opinion on really most of those teams. So when it comes down to it, my main factors are how the team presents itself, the logo, the jersey, and the players. Those are what is most important to me. Not really on-ice stats, because I couldn't really care too much about that, but the way the team presents itself through its looks, for me, it was most important, especially in leagues like the NLA or even the Mestis. Now, I think this video also strengthened me as a hockey fan because while I do have a pretty high radar on most of these leagues, with some of these leagues, I didn't really have a favorite team going in, or I didn't really ever think of having a favorite team. But with some of these teams like with some of these leagues like the Mestis, the NLA, I would have never thought to have favorite teams there. But of course, going through this video and picking them, I will now officially have my favorite teams when I look upon these leagues in the future. But with this video, it's also a great opportunity for you guys to comment below your favorite teams, of course, whether it be in the NHL, ECHL, KHL, or wherever. Let me know what teams you root for. But if you guys want some more Grav goodness, you can watch this video where I talk about my World Junior Championship 2019 predictions. But that is going for today, guys. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Again, comment down below what teams are your favorite in these leagues, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Goodbye.